I think our genre it's very eclectic, honestly. We're very creative. If there's one song in particular that you'll find a jazzy song, and then the next song will be a dancey song, more electronica, and then you'll even find yourself listening to a 1950s tune. So it's very eclectic. I almost want to say like creative eclectic.
Cool. And what are some of y'all's influences?
One of my main influences is Regina Spektor, Imogen Heap, and then I'm also a classically trained musician, so I'm a huge fan of Mozart and Beethoven, and I also love R&B too. So
proto-punk, experimental stuff, while still liking stuff like the Stone Temple Pilots, just straight rock. Although on the flip side, I used to be the one showing up at practice listening to Jamiroquai, showing up to a death metal rehearsal, or just I've always loved that part of myself, the dancier side.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's where you can really see where the variety of the group comes into play, because I mean it's totally 180 degrees for me growing up. I mean our house, we had 60s and 70s tunes going on all day. I mean, stereotypical of Beatles, but we had a lot of vocal groups going on, like Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, Paul Revere and the Raiders. So that sort of early introduction to that vintage music's what really kind of inspired like my early songwriting and how I developed as a player.
So it's kind of been an evolution. Yeah, it's a musical evolution of Vega Star. How Louise approached me musically was he saw me at a show that I did where I did my percussion solo work at Haley's, a venue called Haley's, and he said, "Hey, you want some bass on some of your tunes?" And I go, that's interesting, maybe. And then probably about 6 months after he approached me, because we just never connected on that, we ended up in this like Halloween cover band, and I was the drummer because I just started to get out of classical percussion and start to focus on drum set. He was a bass player, and we had another singer who just wanted to do covers and whatnot. And
we just wanted to sing the songs for Halloween, be the star of the show if you would.
Right. And so we played that show, but Louise and I started connecting on more of an original creative musical level, and so we started playing some of our music and enjoying it. We tried to include the other guy, but since it wasn't something that he's already heard before, it was kind of hard for him, so Louise and I went on our own. And then probably while we were starting to form Vega Star and getting our stuff out there as a duo, I met Brian King probably 4 months after 4 months after we started getting this project together through a man named Bone Docky. Right. He's a huge figurehead here in Denton. And I believe meeting you at like the Dan Silverleaf.
That's right, yeah. Tuesday night at Dan's, that's right. Awesome.
Yeah, and so since then, I said, "Hey, would you like to come over and play with me and this guy?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he brings his piano over, and we start playing some music. And then I said, "Hey, you think you want to start playing with us for forever?
Yeah, right.
You're really good." Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, we just started getting our music out there, and we really just connected on such a great level. And
usually when we come together, we're pretty goal-oriented, really. Usually one of us will kind of have a conviction as to what needs to be worked on, and we usually just get on a roll and start momentum like that. And through that process, usually in between is where we kind of have some happy accidents where maybe Luis will start a riff that we haven't heard before, and then the momentum builds, or I'll bang out something on the keys or something like that. So I think that's really where it kind of starts. We just kind of jump in on what we know we need to clean up, and then good things happen from there.
I think one of the toughest things is now that we're adults and we have actual jobs and careers now, and for most of us, especially for me, and this is my career. So it's getting the time to get the practices in, to book the shows, to commit the time while still juggling life. I myself just got engaged. Brian is planning a wedding. Red has her significant other. That we all have lives, and they're just as important. The thing about Vega Star for me is this isn't just some band that I go and play other people's music. This is my music. These are my babies. So this is as much a part of my life as my relationship is. So I think just keeping that in balance has been one of the toughest things.
So we're very goal oriented. We have short-term goals and we have long-term goals. And for our short-term goal is that we're working on our EP right now. And once we get our EP complete, then we'd actually like to work on a music video with one of our songs that's going to be in our EP called Freak, which is actually an anti-bullying song that I wrote probably 2 years ago, that I would just really like to get out there and help those people who are dealing with bullying have this be just something that they can relate to, have that outlet, and just know that it's going to be okay. And then once those short-term goals are met, we would just love to just spread our positive messages, because Vega Star is extremely positive. There's nothing there's nothing that I could think of where we display this negativity upon people. We love to keep it extremely positive. And so as for the long-term goal is to just keep creating and keep playing our music and seeing where it takes us. We would love to see the world with our music. We would love to see where our music takes us. And our goal is to make a substantial living off of what we do.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest piece of advice is just be thick-skinned about it. Start a project, just,
Be able to roll with the punches.
Yeah, the first show or two might suck. I mean, you're gonna have, no matter what kind of music you're playing, you're gonna have critics. And, I wouldn't say ignore the critics, but you don't have to let that, overtake you and discourage you from getting out there. At the end of the day, make the music for you and not,
For you to enjoy it.
and everything.
Cool. Chelsea.
I would definitely say you want to do it for the love of music and the love for the messages that you have. If you're trying to do it in order to, my music's going to be so popular, I'm trying to make a lot of money, you will find yourself, especially if no one knows who you are and you have no financial support, you will find yourself highly discouraged really fast. Yeah, so I would just say you have to be extremely patient. You have to believe in yourself and believe in your music.
And Luis?
Well, Malcolm Gladwell once wrote that it takes about 100,000 hours before mastery happens. So basically that means that you need to put in the work. You need to put in the practice. You're not going to become good overnight. You need to take the time and become that musician or artist you want to be, because nothing substitutes hard work.
You will find our demo material on Reverb Nation. Search Reverb Nation Vega Star. Vega Star is actually 2 words, Vega space Star. And we also have a YouTube as well, where you can see live performances of what we do. And then, of course, find us on Facebook, where you can come to our live performances and we can connect there.